Welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon countdown video. After months of excruciating pain and waiting, we finally have brand new information on Sun and Moon. We know the protagonists, we know the starters, we know maybe the professor, and the legendaries. I feel like that was maybe too much information for a 2-minute video, so I want to go ahead and slow it down and analyze it a little bit. Alright, so in the beginning of the trailer, Pikachu slides in, just the usual stuff that happens in a Pokemon trailer, and then we get our first look at the male protagonist. And he appears to be in his room. I don't know why there's a globe of the planet. It looks really weird because Africa is visible right there. That's really strange because the Pokemon world never looks like the real world. But in this case, it does seem to be that way. I'm not sure why. It's just a thing that I wanted to point out. There's also a Pikachu doll, which, it shows that there's going to be old Pokemon in the region, probably, or maybe it's just a souvenir of some sort. But yeah, I don't really have many things to say about the main protagonist. I mean, I'm not really used to the design, and I can't really comment on how he looks based on the 3D model because the artwork looks very different most of the time. So I don't know. Like, for example, Serena, the artwork does not look anything like a 3D model. There's also a Wii U in his room, so I guess that's something to point out, even though the NX is going to be really close to coming out when this game releases. And then, in a few months, you're going to have this game with your NX. The Wii U is going to be a thing of the past. But anyway, that's besides the point. This is where it gets really interesting, though, where we see the professor, or I'm guessing it's the professor. His name is Kukui. And I believe that's in, that's some type of tree. I forgot what it was, like a nut tree or something like that. It's also like a name for an Indian walnut. So, it just kind of like gives us a problem there because we don't know if this is the professor or not. I mean, it's a very difficult situation because the professor doesn't give you the Pokemon, the starter Pokemon in this case. And he appears to be your cousin as well. So that's what's really weird to me about this. It's like, he looks like a professor, he's wearing the lab coat, and he just looks like a professor and the name fits and all that stuff. Another thing to point out is that he says welcome to paradise, and that this is the Ololo region, as if you haven't already lived here your whole life. So it appears the protagonist isn't even from here. He came from a very different place. Now we see the main protagonist running through this island, and one thing that I wanted to point out was how the camera seems to be moving. That happens in X and Y as well, but during this trailer, I've seen that so much that I feel like it's going to happen a lot in this game, and that's not a complaint. I actually like the camera moving like that, so that's a plus for me. This scene right here really confuses me because this guy gives you your starter Pokemon, but he doesn't seem to be the professor. The professor is right behind him though, so I don't know, maybe he handed the Pokeball over to him, or maybe he wanted to send it out. It's just really weird and confusing. This guy's name is Hala. We don't know who he is. Like, maybe he's the professor's assistant, because remember that in Black 2 and White 2, Bianca gave you the starters, so it's not really something that's never been done before, but it's definitely confusing since we don't know much about this game. With Bianca, we knew who Bianca was, and she was trying to be a professor. But this guy, he could be an assistant to the professor. He doesn't seem like one. He just seems like a regular dude, or maybe like an old-time trainer or something like that. But I don't know. It really confused me. When I saw the trailer for the first time, I blanked out, and I thought that he was the professor because I wasn't really paying attention. But now, I'm not even sure who he is. This is probably the most important part of the trailer, and it also takes up a huge chunk of the trailer, but why wouldn't it? These are the new Generation 7 starters, and when I first saw these Pokemon, I did not know what to think at first because, first of all, I was spacing out, and second of all, I don't know, at first glance, they don't seem all they didn't really stand out to me, but after 5 minutes or so, I liked every single one of them, and I love Rowlet. Me and a million other people love Rowlet. Rowlet is the standout Pokemon, or Rowlet, I don't care. Rowlet is the standout starter Pokemon. There's always one that stands out more than the others, and there's one that's always hated, which in this case is Poplio. I mean, it is an odd design. I like it though, but a lot of people think it's just a really odd design. I don't blame them, but I don't know. Anyway, Rowlet is our first dual type starter since Bulbasaur in Generation 1. So that's something crazy. And Litten, there's really not much to say about Litten. I just hope it evolves into a dark fire type or a fire dark type. These Pokemon might not stand out to people I guess in their first stage, but I feel like they're all gonna evolve into something beastly. Litten is going to evolve into something beastly. I can already see it. Poplio is going to be that case of be careful who you call ugly in middle school. I feel like that's what it's going to be like. I'm not saying it's ugly, just a lot of people think that it's ugly. So, you know, that's for those people. And Rowlet, there's always, you know, that one Pokemon everybody falls in love with, like Tepig and Chespin, and it just always disappoints at the end. Like Oshawott, it happens. And I don't know why, but I feel like Rowlet, I don't want it to happen, but Rowlet, I feel like your final evolution is going to be really bad, and people are just not going to like Rowlet anymore. I don't know. I don't want to think negatively, but I just feel like that's going to happen. This is our first look at the Ololo region, and it looks like a really small region. I mean, if you zoom out, you can see the tip of the region over here. If you look at the top left, you can actually see where the land ends and the water begins again. So this region is really small. But if it's a lot like Hawaii, there's probably going to be other islands because Hawaii has many islands. And here you can see how, you know, everything just resembles Hawaii. And here's your mom looking at, I don't even know what. But, you know, the thing that I said about the islands, you know, in Hawaii, you can take a plane, you can take a ferry to other islands. And if you guys look at the left side of this image here, or this still, I guess, you can probably, you know, it looks like a harbor. I don't know if it is or not, where you could take a ferry and go somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure if that's what it is, but that's what I'm guessing because the region just seems like it's way too small. Some people were telling me that you can probably go back to Kalos, and this is kind of like the start of Black 2 and White 2, where you get a new area or whatever, but I don't think that's the case at all. Like, I'm 99% sure that that's not the case, because that wouldn't make sense. Like, this is a brand new thing. Look at that guy right there on the left. Like, nobody in the Pokemon games have looked like that before. Like, you can see, you know, everything is proportioned right. That is, you know, that's never happened before. And they're really, like, upgrading everything. And this place reminds me of Castelia. I know I'm bringing Unova into this a lot, but, you know, this is the game that follows up X and Y, and it's on the same console, or, yeah, the same handheld. So, it's pretty much the same thing, you know, with Generation 4 and Generation 5. A lot of things changed. This was Generation 7. I'm assuming that this is, I'm like 100% sure that that's what this is. A lot of people say Generation 6.5, but I'm sure those people aren't saying that anymore. But this place just reminds me of Castelia because it's such a huge city compared to a lot of the cities in Kalos. And, you know, there's also smaller towns and stuff like that as well. I'm not exactly sure what this place is. I don't know who that girl is over there. But, oh, you can see an item right there, actually. I didn't even notice that the first time that I saw this. The water looks so great. I mean, it has to, right? This is an island. They have to focus on the water. I just hope IGN doesn't give it a 7.8 again. This is apparently your rival, but I don't think it's gonna be, because if you... Okay, let me show you guys something that you probably haven't seen. I'm gonna skip through these legends. Wait a minute, what? Wait, they're not gonna show it? Oh, what? I don't think it's in here, but your rival, he actually doesn't use the strongest Pokemon, like, you know, a Pokemon that is strong against yours. He doesn't use that, so I feel like he's not your real rival, and your real rival is somewhere else. Maybe that's your real rival. Right there. I can't see who that is. It's not the male protagonist, obviously, and this is the female protagonist. So, not exactly sure who that is, but we might find out soon enough. And this is the battle. The battles pretty much look exactly the same as X and Y. Just it's a little bit redesigned, I guess. And these are our legendaries. I love the Sun legendary. I feel like everybody switched from Team Moon to Team Sun after this. After seeing the Sun Legendary and the Moon Legendary, I mean, some people like the Moon Legendary, but, you know, a lot of people have switched over to Team Sun, I believe. And as you all probably know by now, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are going to be available on November 18th, 2016. So, earlier than Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, later than Pokemon X and Y, but, you know, it's better than a December release, right? And I also updated all the countdowns to reflect this new release date, so what you guys are looking at are the, you know, real days left until Pokemon Sun and Moon are in your hands. Now we're going to quickly go through the Japanese trailer because there are some things that I mentioned that weren't in the other trailer, but they were in this one. And this trailer is so awesome. Like, it shows this Japanese kid moving to Hawaii. I'm guessing he's like moving there permanently because he's going to school and whatnot. And we get this shot of what looks like the Ololo region. It is Hawaii, but like, it's just such a great still because it's like almost live action and it's awesome. and his mom is with him. As you guys can see here in the background, it says Aloha, welcome to Hawaii. So, you know, all those Singapore rumors, you can put those all to rest, because that's not true at all. I love the way all this looks, and if you guys can see this, like, this is probably, you know, showing areas that are going to be in the game. So expect to see areas like this in the game. I'm pretty sure they're not just showing areas that are irrelevant to the game. And as you guys can see, he's studying English. It's just a really emotional trailer for me. He's like introducing himself, and that guy is being really nice to him all the time. And I mean, it's just, you know, part of the story. He's like very lonely during this trailer because he doesn't feel like he fits in. And oh, I actually didn't even notice that part where he's looking at the moon. That's actually really cool shout out here. Oh my god, in this part, nobody notices, I think. I mean, a few people might have. But if you look at the TV right there, you can see the Sun Legendary using his signature move, something that we didn't see in the English trailer. There's a couple of things that they show here that, you know, they don't show in the English trailer. This is really crazy because I don't know where he is right now. I think this might be, actually, I don't know what this is. This is like a game store, but it's not a specific game store. And, oh, you guys can also see the trailer playing there on the TV, but I don't think that's something that we haven't seen before. This is really crazy though, because this is how it's going to look like in the future. Just kids in the game store looking for Pokemon Sun and Moon. And this is another thing that wasn't shown in the English trailer was it looks like when you open your 3DS, the professor greets you, you know, and says hi. It's kind of like the anime where you where Ash goes and chats with Professor Oak on the video thing. But it looks like whenever you open your 3DS, this might happen, but I'm not exactly sure. This looks like some type of PSS thing. It resembles like a computer operating system, because you see the X and the minimize buttons, and it also shows like a camera and a video chat thing, which is what this is, obviously, and a settings button. But I'm sure that this is not complete. There's probably going to be buttons for the Pokedex and your bag and whatnot, or maybe this is just like a video chat app that the game has. I'm not exactly sure about all that. Oh, and this is the big thing that they didn't show in the English trailer. Trainer customization is fully back. Like, you can change your skin tone and your hair and your clothes and your hat. Well, actually, I don't know about the hat, but everything else you can change. Other than that, there's a few other things that they show, such as Alola completely zoomed out, so you guys can actually see the water going all around it. So, I mean, it's pretty much confirmed that this region, that this is all there is to it. So, I'm pretty sure that, you know, actually, if you look at the harbor, that looks like a ship in there. So, you know, maybe, I don't know. I just have the strongest feeling that that's going to be something, but I don't want to say that I'm entirely sure because obviously I'm not. But it seems that way to me, for real. And this gameplay right here, we didn't see that in the English trailer. Neither, I don't think this was in there either. And let me see, all that we saw already. There's a part where they show a whole bunch of other gameplay that we haven't seen. Okay, here it is. So obviously they show some things from the English trailer, but there are bits and pieces that weren't shown on the English trailer, such as this part with your mom. It shows a Meowth, and the proportions make me feel like the Pokemon can follow you again, but I'm not gonna say that. It would just be perfect, you know. It's just something that I've been wanting since Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And oh, here's your rival with Rowlet, and you're using a Litten. So that guy can't be your real rival. He just can't. Your real rival does not use a Pokemon weaker than yours. Never. That's never happened. So I feel like a rival is someone else, which kind of makes me feel better, because I want a rival that's actually mean this time around, like that I'm actually gonna feel satisfied destroying. But, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. It could be some other friend or whatnot. I'm going to enjoy the game either way, but like I said, I would prefer like an evil rival, a rival that I actually want to fight. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, and consider this a taste of upcoming countdown videos, because I just wanted to skim through both of the trailers during this video, but I'm going to go into detail on new moves, abilities, and things that were seen in the trailer that I didn't really touch upon that I want to talk more about, because now we actually have something real to talk about. The Sun and Moon shirts are only back for 1 week, so if you didn't get them before, now is your chance. And yes, you will still be entered in the Sun and Moon giveaway. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to click like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.